Hi there, it's Leanne from Woodhead & Co Estate Agents. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about sole and multi-agency contracts with your agents. Okay, when an agent comes out to value your property, you should be getting a minimum of 3 agents to pop out to see your property with a mix of both independents and corporates. That way you have a good idea of a rough price that they'll be able to put on based on what the 3 agents have told you. Okay, with agencies, there's 2 different types of contracts mainly. The first one being a sole agency contract, where you would only put it on with 1 agent for a set period of time. And the second contract will be something called a multi-agency contract, where you can put the property on with more than 1 agent. Usually it doesn't have a fixed time, but sometimes it does, so please do check every agent's contract. With a sole agency contract, some of the pros are, you always know who you're dealing with, because there'll be only 1 branch that will deal with you mainly, and you tend to get to know all your sales negotiators who will be coming to the property to show people around. They would also have a high priority to getting your property sold because they don't want the contract to finish and you move on to somewhere else. They will want the fee being paid to themselves because most agents there is a no sale, no fee as such. The second pro, when it comes to going sole agency, which is also a con for when a multi-agency, but the property will only appear on all the portals once. Okay, that means it will only be with that agent and therefore all the buyers come through to them, so there's no mixed messages. Whereas with a multi-agency contract, one of the cons are that the property will appear more times on the portals because you'll be selling with different agents. So for however many agents you have, the property will appear on the portals. Some people can see that as desperation, and other people can see it as more of a competitive term. So another pro to sole agency is that the fee tends to be a little bit cheaper rather than multi-agency tends to be a little bit more expensive. You also get a more personalised service, and again, touch on the first point that you always know who you're dealing with, so there is always a point of contact on that route. One of the cons for sole agency contracts could be their marketing strategy. You may be one of many vendors, which means that, you know, if let's say you have a 3-bedroom terrace house, but they have 20 on the market at any one time, they're going to show you one of 20 with their buyer. However, if you go for a smaller branch, they tend to only have 2 or 3, which means you're always in the top 3. Moving on to multi-agency, one of the pros for multi-agency is agents like to compete against each other because it is a higher fee and they want to be the crown champion of selling your property. A con, which again I touched on earlier with the sole agency side of things when it comes to marketing, your property will appear on portals more than once. Some buyers can see that as desperation, therefore you're getting more cheeky offers, shall we say, that appears to the property, or the fact is that they don't want to put forward, don't want to come to see the property because they think something's wrong with it because you can't sell it because there are so many agents. You know, that isn't, as we're aware, that isn't always the case, but some buyers can see it that way. Another con when it comes to multi-agency contracts is there tends to be higher fees. The reason for doing that is that it's worth the agent's time attempting to sell the property because one of them will need to sell it. Therefore, it needs to be one of their worthwhile to do so. And with the other agents that won't sell it, there will come several admin fees, people's mileage to pay, that sort of thing. So the fees tend to be a little bit higher. My advice when picking your agents, it all depends on your personal circumstance, but speak to your local people on Facebook, friends and family that have used agents in your area, and have a good idea of who they are. Also, when they come round, ask them what they feel their best selling points are. Every agent should be different and they shouldn't be sounding the same, and see who you get on with the most. Whoever you have the most faith in selling the property with is my strong advice to go with. But if you want any more advice, just give us a call at Woodhead & Co branch and I'll be happy to help.